What if I told you that the moment you set a boundary, something inside the person you're confronting shifts? A sudden change in behavior, a shift in their tactics. It's like a game, and you're the one holding the cards. But what happens when they know exactly how to turn those cards against you? What if their next move is designed to make you question everything you've just said? We all know the importance of drawing a line, of standing up for ourselves, but what if that's when the real manipulation begins? Right when you think you've gained control, the person you're dealing with flips the script and uses psychological tricks that leave you second-guessing your own reality. Welcome to the world of mind tricks that manipulative people use when you dare to draw a line. These tricks aren't just about subtle hints, they're strategic, calculated moves designed to weaken your resolve. And it's not about winning, it's about control. Control over your thoughts, your emotions, and ultimately your decisions. So buckle up as we dive into the 9 manipulative tactics that are unleashed the moment you establish a boundary. By the end of this, you'll see the manipulator's playbook and you'll be ready for the next round. Stay tuned, this is about to get intense. First mind trick, charm offensive. When you draw a line, they come at you with a weapon you can't see coming. Charm. It's the perfect tool of manipulation, a sudden shift from coldness to overwhelming warmth. You've set a boundary, thinking you're being clear and firm, but suddenly they're on their best behavior. They're showering you with compliments, smiles, and affectionate gestures. They're doing everything in their power to make you feel special, appreciated, and cared for, all at once. It feels good, right? But here's the catch. This kindness isn't coming from a place of genuine care. It's a tactic, a strategy designed to disarm you and make you second-guess your decision. This charm offensive is one of the sneakiest manipulation tactics. When you establish a boundary, manipulators know exactly how to hit back, not with aggression, but with sugar-coated sweetness. They'll make you feel like you're the one in the wrong, and that maybe your boundary was too harsh, too unreasonable. They'll use their charm to make you question your resolve, to soften your stance without you even realizing it. Imagine this. You've told someone that you need some space or time alone, but suddenly they're going out of their way to do nice things for you. They show up with flowers, tell you how amazing you are, or reminisce about the good times you've shared. It's a calculated move to manipulate your emotions and make you feel guilty for having set that boundary. The tactic: to create doubt in your mind, to wear you down with their affection, so you start wondering if the boundary you've set is really necessary. Maybe they do deserve your time, your affection, your attention. After all, look at how sweet they're being now. This charm offensive works because as humans, we're wired to respond to kindness. We don't want to hurt others, and we certainly don't want to feel like we're being unfair or cold-hearted. Manipulators know this. They know that by giving you a taste of warmth and affection, they can break down the walls you've just built with your boundary. What starts as a simple, clear line in the sand quickly becomes blurred by their sweetness. The real danger here is that this tactic can leave you questioning yourself. Are you being too rigid, too defensive? It's easy to fall into this trap because the manipulator's charm makes it seem like they're simply understanding your needs. But underneath it all, the goal remains the same: to get you to back off and abandon your boundary, all wrapped up in a package of kindness. So the next time someone starts showering you with excessive affection or charm right after you set a boundary, don't be fooled. Recognize it for what it is, a strategic play to gain control. Stay firm and remember, their warmth isn't always what it seems. Second mind trick: false agreement. When words don't match actions, that's when the real manipulation begins. False agreement is one of the most subtle and dangerous mind tricks manipulators use once you've set a boundary. On the surface, they seem to nod in agreement, even assuring you that they understand and respect your limits. Everything feels fine at the moment. They might say, "Absolutely, I get it. I won't do that again." Their words sound sincere, almost like they've genuinely accepted the line you've drawn. But here's the twist. Once the conversation ends, their behavior doesn't match their promises. This trick is designed to lull you into a false sense of security. You walk away thinking your boundary has been acknowledged and respected, but the next time the situation arises, they ignore your boundary altogether, completely disregarding everything they claim to understand. What makes this tactic so insidious is the confusion it creates. You're left questioning yourself. Did you miscommunicate? Did they really agree, or did you just imagine it? These doubts make it harder to hold them accountable when their actions contradict what they said. The manipulator uses this confusion as a tool to undermine your trust in your own judgment and keep you in a state of uncertainty. And the more often this happens, the more difficult it becomes to spot the pattern. You start second-guessing whether the manipulator ever really agreed with your boundary or if you're being unreasonable in the first place. But here's the kicker. They rely on your self-doubt to escape the consequences of their actions. When you doubt your own boundary, it becomes easier for them to push past it without repercussions. The result? You lose power and they gain control. They know that by pretending to agree, they can keep you off balance, making you feel like it's your fault when they cross the line again. False agreement isn't about compromise or mutual respect. It's a manipulation tactic that distorts reality, leaving you questioning your own decisions. It's a way for them to manipulate the truth, creating a facade of agreement while secretly planning to break your trust once more. Recognizing this tactic is crucial because once you see it for what it is, you can stop the cycle. A manipulator who falsely agrees is not seeking genuine understanding. They're just buying time to keep crossing your boundaries with no real consequence. Keep your eyes open, trust your instincts, and don't let their empty promises make you question your worth. Your boundaries matter, and they deserve to be respected, not just acknowledged in words. Third mind trick: overwhelming you with logic. Ever felt like you were cornered by a never-ending flood of facts and logic? It's like trying to catch your breath in a sea of intellectual arguments, each one designed to make you doubt everything you stand for. Manipulators are experts in the art of overwhelming others, and one of their most insidious weapons is logic. At first glance, it seems harmless, even rational, but it's often a smokescreen designed to wear you down. They'll bombard you with so many details, explanations, and facts that soon you're left tangled in a web of confusion. What started as a simple boundary or request suddenly becomes a complex, debatable issue. The game they play is one of distraction and doubt. A manipulator will present a never-ending stream of seemingly logical reasons why your boundary is unnecessary, unreasonable, or just plain wrong. They don't care about the truth, they care about control. And by overwhelming you with facts and arguments, they blur the lines between what's real and what's being twisted to serve their needs. As they flood you with counterpoints, you start to lose your clarity. Their arguments can be so detailed, so elaborate, that you begin to second-guess your own judgment. Should you be holding this boundary? Am I being unreasonable? They may even twist the original conversation into a debate, shifting the focus entirely away from the issue at hand, your boundary, and onto proving how illogical your request is. The danger is that once they've successfully distracted and overwhelmed you, they've won. You're no longer standing firm in your boundary. You're caught up in the whirlwind of their reasoning, unsure of where the truth lies. You may even end up apologizing for setting the boundary in the first place, falling right into their trap. But here's the key. It's all smoke and mirrors. Manipulators don't care about your reasoning. They care about making you question yours. They know if they can fill your mind with doubt, they can get you to abandon the boundary. And once that happens, they regain the upper hand. The best defense against this tactic is staying calm, focused, and unshaken. Remind yourself that your boundary is valid, regardless of how many points they throw at you. Logic is important, but it should never be used as a tool to manipulate your feelings or decision-making. Stand firm in your truth. Fourth mind trick: feigning ignorance. Ever felt like you were cornered by a never-ending flood of facts and logic? It's like trying to catch your breath in a sea of intellectual arguments, each one designed to make you doubt everything you stand for. Manipulators are experts in the art of overwhelming others, and one of their most insidious weapons is logic. At first glance it seems harmless, even rational, but it's often a smokescreen designed to wear you down. They'll bombard you with so many details, explanations, and facts that soon you're left tangled in a web of confusion. What started as a simple boundary or request suddenly becomes a complex, debatable issue. The game they play is one of distraction and doubt. A manipulator will present a never-ending stream of seemingly logical reasons why your boundary is unnecessary, unreasonable, or just plain wrong. They don't care about the truth, they care about control. And by overwhelming you with facts and arguments, they blur the lines between what's real and what's being twisted to serve their needs. As they flood you with counterpoints, you start to lose your clarity. Their arguments can be so detailed, so elaborate, that you begin to second-guess your own judgment. Should you be holding this boundary? Am I being unreasonable? They may even twist the original conversation into a debate, shifting the focus entirely away from the issue at hand, your boundary, and onto proving how illogical your request is. The danger is that once they've successfully distracted and overwhelmed you, they've won. You're no longer standing firm in your boundary. You're caught up in the whirlwind of their reasoning, unsure of where the truth lies. You may even end up apologizing for setting the boundary in the first place, falling right into their trap. But here's the key. It's all smoke and mirrors. Manipulators don't care about your reasoning. They care about making you question yours. They know if they can fill your mind with doubt, they can get you to abandon the boundary. And once that happens, they regain the upper hand. The best defense against this tactic is staying calm, focused, and unshaken. Remind yourself that your boundary is valid, regardless of how many points they throw at you. Logic is important, but it should never be used as a tool to manipulate your feelings or decision-making. Stand firm in your truth. Fifth mind trick, playing the good guy role. When someone is always there for you, but only when it benefits them, it's a trap you'll want to avoid. Manipulators are experts at playing the good guy role, using their charm and kindness as a weapon to break down your boundaries. Imagine this. You've finally gathered the courage to set a limit, but instead of respecting it, the person you're confronting turns on the charm. Big smiles, sweet words, and all the things that once made you feel safe. They play the hero, acting as if they're the only one who truly understands you, the only one who will always be there when you need them. But don't be fooled. This isn't kindness. It's a strategic move. They're using their generosity to manipulate your emotions, to make you feel guilty for standing up for yourself. Suddenly, you're questioning whether your boundary is too harsh, too unreasonable, too unfair. You're led to believe that in rejecting their so-called help or support, you're the one being difficult or ungrateful. The manipulator skillfully makes it seem like they are doing you a favor, making you feel like you owe them something in return, especially when they're the ones who should be held accountable for their behavior. The catch? They'll never respect your boundaries. Their intention isn't to be there for you, but to ensure that their needs and desires always come first. The moment you draw a line, they will shift gears, play on your empathy, and convince you that they are the victim of your request. It's emotional manipulation at its finest. They'll make you second-guess your choices, pressuring you to give in, and the guilt will slowly start to creep in. You may even feel like you're the one who is in the wrong for setting a boundary in the first place. But here's the truth. You're not being unreasonable. Setting boundaries is about protecting your emotional health, your space, and your peace. The manipulator doesn't want you to realize that, so they'll play the good guy role to make you doubt your worth. They want you to think that by respecting your limits, you're cutting off someone who truly cares. It's a form of control that masks itself as generosity. And once you fall into this trap, the manipulator has you exactly where they want you, questioning yourself and giving in to their demands. So next time someone goes overboard with their kindness, remember this. True generosity doesn't require guilt or manipulation. It's simply about respect, something you deserve, especially when you draw the line. Sixth mind trick, minimizing their behavior. Ever had someone tell you that you're making a mountain out of a molehill when all you did was draw a line in the sand? It's one of the most cunning tricks in the manipulator's playbook, the art of minimizing their behavior. When you set a boundary, a manipulator's first instinct isn't to respect it, it's to make you question whether you were justified in setting it at all. They'll twist your words and actions, shifting the focus away from the impact they had on you, and onto how your reaction is the problem. Instead of owning up to their violation of your space, they'll downplay the situation so much that you start feeling like you're overreacting. They'll call you too sensitive, dramatic, or worse, irrational. In their eyes, it's not their actions that need to change, it's your perception of them. Imagine this. You've told someone that their comment was hurtful, that crossing certain lines isn't acceptable. Instead of acknowledging how their words or actions affected you, they'll claim, "It wasn't that bad," or "You're making this too complicated." You start to question whether it's really a big deal. The manipulator's goal is clear, to make you doubt your own feelings and in turn let them off the hook without any accountability. But here's the catch. Their behavior wasn't harmless, and your feelings aren't exaggerated. When they minimize what happened, they are strategically undermining your reality to protect their own image. They don't want to admit that they crossed the line. Instead, they want you to feel responsible for making the situation bigger than it really is. This tactic is insidious because it plays on your self-doubt. You know what you felt in that moment, but the manipulator's dismissal makes you second-guess your own emotions. Over time, this constant minimization can leave you questioning your ability to trust your instincts, making you more vulnerable to future manipulation. So when someone tries to minimize your boundary, remember this: your feelings are valid. The moment they downplay what you've experienced is the moment you need to stand firm and remind yourself that your boundaries deserve respect. Because if they can convince you that you're overreacting, they can continue walking all over your lines, one small step at a time. And that's exactly what they're hoping for. Seventh mind trick, timing the emotional outbursts. Have you ever been in a situation where everything seems calm, but suddenly the other person erupts into an emotional outburst, leaving you stunned and scrambling to regain control? This is no accident. Manipulators are experts at timing their emotional outbursts to perfection. They don't just blow up for no reason. They know exactly when and how to hit you where it hurts most. And more often than not, it happens at the moment you're least prepared for it, when you're emotionally vulnerable, exhausted, or caught off guard. Imagine this. You've just set a boundary, standing firm in your decision. But then, like a switch flipping, they start to cry, scream, or become excessively angry. The emotional display is intense, leaving you questioning whether you've gone too far. The whole situation is suddenly turned upside down. You've gone from calmly setting a boundary to trying to manage an emotional crisis that wasn't even yours to begin with. This tactic is used to guilt trip you into backing down. The manipulator knows that when you're faced with an emotional eruption, your instinct is to comfort, to smooth things over, to stop the conflict. They've studied your reactions and know that this emotional outburst will trigger a deep instinctual need to restore peace. And before you know it, you're the one trying to calm them down, feeling responsible for their emotional chaos and second-guessing your boundaries. The goal? To make you feel like the bad guy. It's an emotional manipulation strategy designed to make you doubt your own feelings, your own needs, and even the necessity of your boundaries. They weaponize their emotions to take control, manipulating your empathy and compassion to get what they want. But here's the kicker. These emotional outbursts aren't about resolution or understanding. They're about domination. The manipulator is seeking one thing: for you to feel guilty enough to drop your boundary and allow them to walk all over it. By understanding this tactic, you can stay one step ahead. The next time someone erupts into a dramatic outburst right after you set a boundary, don't fall into the trap. Recognize it for what it is: a calculated attempt to make you feel responsible for their emotional state. Instead of getting swept up in the emotion of the moment, Stand firm, breathe, and remind yourself that your boundary is valid. Eighth mind trick: using other people's opinion. Ever felt like you're the only one who sees things differently, like everyone else around you agrees on something, and suddenly you're the odd one out? This is the power of a manipulative tactic known as using other people's opinion. When you set a boundary, manipulators often pull in third-party opinions to undermine your position, making it seem like you're the one out of step, the one creating unnecessary drama. Imagine this. You've just told someone you won't tolerate their behavior anymore. Maybe it's a friend, a partner, or even a colleague. It's a simple boundary, one that should be respected. But instead of honoring it, they go to the people around you, your friends, family, or mutual acquaintances, and suddenly it's as though everyone is questioning your decision. Did you really need to do that? I don't think it's such a big deal. Now, it's not just the manipulator, but a whole group of people who seem to think you're overreacting. This tactic is designed to make you feel isolated. It's a subtle form of social pressure, where the manipulator leverages the opinions of others to create doubt and make you feel like you're the only one holding a strong stance. Your boundary, which once felt clear and necessary, now feels fragile. The more people they pull in to sway you, the more you start to question your own judgment. It's like being on an island, watching the rest of the world turn against you. The manipulator doesn't even have to outright disagree with your boundary. They don't need to argue directly. Instead, they sow seeds of doubt by getting others involved. When the people you trust start to echo the manipulator's perspective, you start to wonder, am I the one making a mountain out of a molehill? The emotional weight of trying to defend yourself against multiple voices can leave you second-guessing everything. But here's the thing, you are not alone in your perspective. People who truly respect you will stand by your decisions, even when they don't fully agree. Those who try to manipulate you through the opinions of others, they're not concerned about your well-being. They're only interested in controlling how you feel about yourself and your choices. So, the next time you find yourself at the mercy of other people's opinions, remember, your boundary is your right, and no one else's voice should shake it. Stay firm and trust your own judgment. Ninth mind trick: silent treatment. Ever been in a conversation that suddenly turned cold, as if the words you just spoke were completely erased from existence? The deafening silence that follows feels like a weight pressing against you, making you wonder if you did something wrong. This is the power of the silent treatment, a silent yet manipulative weapon that often leaves you reeling. Manipulators know that when words fail, silence speaks louder than anything else. It's a tactic that's subtle, but incredibly effective. At first, it feels like a minor disagreement or a temporary distance, but soon you realize that this silence is no accident. It's not just a break in conversation. It's a deliberate, passive-aggressive move designed to put you in an emotional chokehold. The silent treatment is a form of emotional manipulation, where the manipulator withdraws all communication, leaving you in a state of uncertainty. Instead of confronting you directly or addressing the issue, they use silence as a tool to make you feel like the problem lies with you. You start to question your words, your actions, or even your worth. But the real danger isn't the quiet, it's the guilt and confusion it stirs up in you. Manipulators often use silence to isolate you, making you feel as if you need to fix things to break the silence and regain their attention or approval. The longer it stretches, the more your mind races. You might even start second-guessing if you've done something wrong, even if you know you've done nothing to deserve such treatment. And here's the kicker. The manipulator never admits to using silence as a weapon. They'll act as if everything is just fine, all while you're left wondering whether you've crossed a line. The silence becomes the weapon, and you're the one feeling guilty for something you might not even have done. The longer this tactic is allowed to persist, the more it erodes your self-confidence. The manipulator's goal? To make you feel emotionally dependent on them, to make you feel like you have to chase their approval to restore peace. The manipulation works because it plays on your need for connection and validation. They hold all the control, and they know it. In the end, The silent treatment isn't about resolution, it's about power. The longer you're trapped in the silence, the more likely you are to return to the manipulator's terms, relinquishing control over your own emotions. Recognizing this tactic is key to taking back that control. As we've explored today, manipulators have a playbook of psychological tricks they use to turn your firm boundaries into tools of control. From the charm offensive to feigning ignorance and the silent treatment, they know exactly how to twist your emotions and make you second-guess everything you've set in place. These mind games aren't just about crossing a line, they're about making you feel guilty, confused, and, most dangerously, powerless. But here's the truth. Recognizing these tactics is the first step to reclaiming your power. Knowing what to look for, understanding their moves, and staying firm in your decisions will put you back in the driver's seat. Remember, your boundaries are valid, and no one should be able to manipulate your reality. If you found this video helpful and eye-opening, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more insights on how to protect yourself from manipulation. You're not alone in this. Your boundaries matter, and it's time to own them. Leave a comment below about your experiences or any tactics you've encountered. Together, let's break free from manipulation and stay strong in our truth. Until next time, take care of yourselves and remember, your peace is non-negotiable.